to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kathy, would you please pray?
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings of this day and the blessings you bestowed on each and every one of us in this county. We ask for your guidance. Lead us in the direction that might please you in our decisions that we make for the county. We ask all of this in thy heavenly precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you both. We are having some technical difficulties this morning, so Brian's going to be working on those as we start our meeting. If we could get an approval for the minutes of October the 15th, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds,
Are there any questions or comments in regards to the fund appropriations request? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation transfer of funds,
Any questions or comments in regards to appropriation transfers? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Any questions or comments in regards to item 4? Hearing none?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of notification from the Ohio Department of Taxation regarding permissive sales tax,
On this item, I will go ahead and add and do it preemptively so the press and we apologize for the delay in getting going this morning. On our sales tax for August, we saw an increase there. Sales local was 723, 726, 18. Sales actual 361, 864, 30 for a total of $1,085,590.48, which is up $158,913 from August of 2019, which gives us a year-to-date increase of $812,932, which is great testimony to the increase in our economy and the growth of our sales tax revenue. Can we get a motion to approve the permissive sales tax, please?
So, motion to accept.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of communication regarding the resignation from the Access Scioto County Advisory Board,
The board member that resigned was Eddie Edwards. He thanked us for the opportunity to serve on the board, but he's chosen to leave the board at this time. Can we get a motion to, any comments or questions? And if no, we get a motion to accept the resignation.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye, and thank you, Mr. Edwards, for your service. Really appreciate that. ASC is a wonderful organization. Okay.
In the matter of 2020-2021 Victims of Crime Act and State Victim Assistance Act grant award and acceptance regarding the prosecutor's office.
Any questions or comments in regards to the Victims of Crime grant that we received? Actually, the prosecutor's office receives. Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye, and for the record, that amount was for $71,926.52, and the prosecutor's office does a wonderful job in using those funds to help victims of crime in our county.
In the matter of accepting an amended certificate from the Scioto County Budget Commission,
Questions or comments in regards to the amended certificate on item 8? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of updated Scioto County Emergency Operations Plan regarding Emergency Management Agency,
Any questions or comments in regards to the updated operations plan for EMA? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution establishing a fund for the 0 to 3 infant toddler court program regarding juvenile court,
On item 10, the grant being received by Children's Defense, it's being received from the Children's Defense of Ohio for toddlers 0 to 3. And these are children that are born with drugs in their system. And this is a grant that our juvenile probate court applied for, and Judge Lemons. And these are for kids that were born with drugs in their system. And what they're trying to do with this grant is to get involved more closely, and they're actually, hiring a coordinator to make sure the kids are taken care of. It is a reimbursable grant. We will be, of course, expending those monies, but as we expend them, we will bill, and they will reimburse the grant up to 70 to, how much was it? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Got to find it here. $68,116 for the first year of funding. Hopefully it's something that'll be perpetual. Can we get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye, and I would like to just remind everybody, these packets are reviewed by each county commissioner separately before the meeting, and the reason I'm bringing this up now is to help the press, to better explain what we're dealing with, since the press is not with us today because of COVID, and we're trying to reduce the exposure and the number of people in the room. All right?
In the matter of request for fund transfers,
Any questions or comments in regards to fund transfers? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing the Scioto County Engineer to request the Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation to review engineering and traffic investigation regarding County Road 171, which is Greenbrier Road.
Are there any questions or comments in regards to item 12? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye. And for the record, for the press, and this goes with item 12 and item 13, these are traffic studies typically because someone from the public has complained about the speed on the road. They have petitioned the engineer, and the engineer is petitioning us to proceed with a traffic study. Oftentimes it's speeding. I know for a fact that Greenbrier is. So that is one of the issues. Okay, go right ahead.
In the matter of resolution authorizing the Scioto County Engineer to request the Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation to review engineering and traffic investigation regarding County Road 30, Cook Road.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 13? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates in the total amount of $541,531.93.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 14? Hearing none.
Motion to approve payments.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution authorizing the chairman of the board to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Appalachian Regional Commission Grant Program for the sewer extension project in Hanging Rock and Haverhill Industrial Corridor of the Ohio River, and to execute
job.
contracts as required.
Any questions or comments in regards to the $4 million plus project for Haverhill that they're starting to apply for the grants for? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
And I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
And I want to say thank you, Robert, for all your hard work. We're applying for the ARC grant on this particular one, and of course that entire project is over $4 million, and we'll add industrial sewer all the way down from Haverhill to, from Franklin Furnace actually, all the way down to the Pure Cycle plant, which is being built with the bond that the Port Authority is doing, which is $250,000 bond, $219, and then some on top of that. But this is good. They've been working on it for a long time. Good job. Good job.
Everybody else.
Oh yeah, Pure Cycle, LEDC, Lawrence County Commissioners, Scioto County Commissioners, JP Picklesheimer, everybody involved with this. JEDISO, we could go on and on. We talked about it last week, or the week before last, but there's so many entities that are involved with this. Jobs Ohio, you name it. Good stuff, moving forward, really setting the environment for growth in Haverhill, which is our heavy industrial corridor. Suncoast, Altivia, of course now Pure Cycle that's going to be locating, and the thousands of acres that are available that will be industrialized as a result of getting our infrastructure in place. This is key, so let's get it done. Thank you. Appreciate it. Motion.
Okay.
We already did that one.
We did it. Go.
So number
Thank you.
16, in the matter of resolution establishing a fund for the Ohio Body Armor Program regarding the Sheriff's Department.
Is there any questions or comments in regards to item 16, dollar value here for everybody? If there's none, get a motion? Motion on item 16. Anybody want to make motion on that?
Certainly, I will make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye, and that is for $16,087.50, and it's good to see our sheriff spending money on body armor for our deputies.
In the matter of resolution establishing funds for the West Portsmouth Purty Acres wastewater treatment plant regarding the Scioto County Sanitary and Engineering Department.
Questions or comments in regards to 17? Hearing none?
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye, and those funds being created in our auditor's office will be to deposit the loans that are set forth to do the infrastructure at Purty Acres, Ashley Corner, as well as the West Portsmouth project, around $1.2 million. And that is further infrastructure being built in our community to make it better. And they're getting it done. All right.
In the matter of resolution establishing the Scioto County CARES COVID-19 Chromebook Subgrant Program.
Okay, for the next several items, Scioto County was recipient of CARES Act money in the total of $2.7 million, as well as the trustees were also recipients, City of Portsmouth. And we have already expended some of this money on small business grants. We're going to do more today. This particular item, in consultations with our auditor, we talked about several different things we could do for the community. We reached out to ESC, Sandy Mers, SCOESC, Sandy Mers, and they did a technology audit for our county, asking every 11 high schools on technology, what they needed as far as laptops to do distance learning, especially with the increase in COVID cases. We need to make sure that our kids are properly equipped. They came back with a number of needing laptops, and this is where it gets a little messy. We originally, when we did the work, it was around $300 for the laptops, and they came back and they said 3 to 4 months to receive them. Well, with the deadline of December 31st to do expenditures, that wasn't going to work, and they weren't promising even 4 months. So, very thankfully, ESC went back to work on it, because their technology coordinator is a great guy. He went back to work on it, and he found a similar product that cost a little bit more, but we're going to be able to get 1,200 Chromebooks. This will impact all of our schools. They did the audit, and this will be used for those Chromebooks. This will be a huge win for our youth, and I feel strongly, personally, I feel strongly that we really should do this for our young people. Because of the COVID, the increase in cases, I'm very concerned that we may be going to virtual learning in the next several weeks. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying I'm personally worried that that may be happening. We need to make sure we take care of our young people and help them as much as possible to be successful. So with that, any comments, any questions from either of you on this particular resolution for utilizing a portion, and I believe on this particular one, it's $500,000 for Chromebooks for the youth of our area.
Questions? Any questions?
If no questions, can we get a motion?
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution establishing the Scioto County Cares COVID-19 Children's Services Subgrant Program.
Same deal. Let me pull these. I need the forms here. On item 19, as you would have seen this morning, this is for $35,000 for children's services, and what they're going to buy is a COVID recovery vehicle, a rapid response vehicle. A lot of times when our children's services and our caseworkers go into a house, one, they do not know what they're being exposed to. A lot of times the houses are deplorable. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if the children have COVID. You don't know if the adults have COVID. There's no way to do a quick test. So what they're wanting to do is rapid response, have a vehicle that's sanitized, clean, has a divider, has safety for the driver, caseworkers, and as well as for the family to transport individuals, especially young people, children, to and from. So that's what this is for. $35,000 is what Jason and we had talked about. So I don't if we could, if there's any other questions or comments in regards to this. If none, can we get a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution appropriating a portion of the Scioto County Cares COVID-19 allotment to purchase HVAC systems equipped to aid in the prevention of the spread of the communicable diseases, including COVID-19, for all county-owned public buildings.
On this one, on this one is in regards to on the HVAC systems, installing UV barriers. They would be in some systems they would be attachments, and some systems they would be total replacements. This would be for the entire courthouse as well as all county buildings that are county-owned buildings. We would be doing audits and evaluations and doing bids for all of those units. This particular resolution would be for $1 million in CARES Act money to be utilized toward UV systems to kill COVID in the air. Any questions or comments in regards to this? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution appropriating a portion of the Scioto County CARES Act COVID-19 allotment to the Small Business Grant Program regarding Scioto County economic development.
On this one, the discussion, as many know, we had already committed $250,000 to the Small Business Grant Program using CARES Act monies to help our small businesses. We are in the process. Some have already been awarded $10,000 grants. Others are in process. Others are being reviewed. With the fallout from COVID, the loss of revenue for small businesses, what has been discussed, and especially with our economic development team, and personally being involved in that first round of grant applications and hearing the stories of what our small businesses have gone through locally, we feel strongly that we need to expand that program to help our small businesses, to give them a hand up, to move and be able to have some flexibility to keep their business going. Right now, it's horrific, some of the things that have happened. You know, one thing I really appreciate is our people are very proud and they hate to ask, but what we need to understand is that these tax dollars are tax dollars that a lot of these businesses spent, they paid into, and this is their opportunity to survive right now. And we need our small businesses to survive so we can keep our unemployment at a lower number. Our unemployment dipped again in September. I just saw the numbers late last night. I had 8.2. We're very close. Lawrence County and ourselves are really leading the area in what's going on. And of course, you see the collaboration between the two counties right now too. Not saying that that's why, but I think it may have something to do with it. So we're doing all we can to work together. But We're at 8.2, but we got to keep it going. We got to keep it sustained until we can get past what's happened with COVID, the state shutdowns, things like that. So with that, what we're wanting to do, and I have the numbers right here. Okay, what is being proposed is an additional $500,000 into the small business grant program, changing the parameters, Mike and Kathy, from 2 to 25. Robert, I'm looking at Robert to make sure I say this right. From 2 to 25 to 1 to 40. We have some sole proprietors that literally had to lay off everybody and they're the only ones left trying to do work. This is to give them a hand up to try to get people back to work. 1 to 40 employees, up to 5 million. 5 million revenue cap. 25 $10,000 grants. That's $250,000 of the total 5. Number 2, an additional $250,000 for a total of $500,000. 1 to 40 employees, $3 million cap. 10 $25,000 grants. That will help the larger companies in a more meaningful way. So that's what's being proposed, and that's what's on the table right now. We would utilize $500,000 toward the small business for a total of $750,000, which means between Portsmouth and New Boston and Scioto County, we are pumping over $1 million into economic development, small businesses in our county. Any questions or comments in regards to that? And the reason I'm being so detailed is for the benefit of the press. They need to know what's going on and the benefit of the public ultimately. Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution appropriating a portion of the Scioto County CARES Act COVID-19 allotment for cleaning of all county-owned public buildings per COVID-19 protocols.
This particular appropriation would be for the formation of a cleaning, an intense cleaning group of individuals. We would hire these individuals under this CARES Act money to do intense cleaning of all public buildings. There's only so much our small maintenance staff can do. We feel like because we have so many buildings, and some of those buildings are cleaned by other staff, not even people that are working in this building. They kind of do it on their own. We want to try to do a more intense cleaning, especially with the increase. So this is for $75,000, and we'll utilize that, and hopefully the pandemic will end sooner than later. But that's what this is for. It'll be for Job and Family Services, the courthouse, the annex, Fifth and Court, ASC, all of those to do the cleaning, and that's what this is for. Are there any questions or comments in regards to that? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution granting a standard highway easement and temporary easement to the Ohio Department of Transportation on parcel 10-0539.001.
And this particular easement is on State Route 139 out by Rocky Ford Creek, right past the Minford 335 split. Are there any questions or comments in regards to that? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
And we need to do a bid opening like now.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what.
Bid opening.
Yes. So this bid opening is for the heating and air for the courthouse systems. And we only have one bid, and it is from Quality Heating and Air. And the total bid amount is $788,051.27.
I'd like to make a motion to
I'll
refer
make a
that.
motion to accept the bid and refer that to our maintenance director. Phil LaJoy.
And I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree,
Aye.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Ms. Coleman, would you have anything additional?
I have nothing at this time,
Mr.
sir.
Crabtree?
No, nothing.
All right. I am going to excuse myself at this time. I'm going to leave this in your capable hands as vice chair. This, okay, I have another meeting off-site, and I apologize for that, so that you can handle all questions for the press. You ready? Okay. Thank you, everyone. This is good stuff today.
Okay.
Good stuff. What is it?
We should have a sign one.
Yeah, there is.
Yep, and the plan is submitted as the,
Isn't that part of the anti-displacement?
yeah, it is.
It's part of CDBG.
Right.
Yeah, see Jen after this, okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, to continue, are there any items on the agenda?
On the agenda, I believe we have two questions. Both of them come from Patrick Keck. The first one, how did the VOCA funds compare to last year? We've reported that funding is down again this year.
You'll have to repeat that. I can't hear you.
How did the VOCA funds compare to last year? We've reported the funding is down again this year.
Do you have any information on that?
I don't understand what you're talking about, the DOTA funding.
VOCA,
VOCA.
the Victims of
Oh,
Crime Act.
victims of,
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the grant they're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay, I think the prosecutor and the judges apply for those types of grants, and so I can't tell you what the total
I don't
number
remember
is
what it
on
was
something
like.
like
It seems
that.
like it's gone down
Those
every year.
fluctuate because of, they are grants that are applied for, and sometimes they get them and they don't, but I couldn't give you that number, I don't have that off the top of my head.
Also from Patrick, could you explain further what led to the increased permissive sales tax collection?
The permissive sales tax, the increase in the permissive sales tax, for those that don't know, there's a lot of internet purchases being made. In the past, none or very few of the states were collecting taxes on internet purchases. Now, I think every state in the United States are collecting those taxes, and wherever the purchase was made, the taxes collected goes back to that state. So I think a lot of it, due to the COVID-19 situation, there's been a lot more internet purchases, and there's been a lot more money collected on those type of purchases. And so, that has gone up considerably. We're still not where we were before the cut in the MCO taxes. And we also were looking at this next quarter of casino revenue is going to be down considerably. So there's a lot of things that have been affected by COVID-19, and the full effect of that, we're not going to know exactly how that's going to turn out until the end of the year.
I believe that's everything on agenda.
the rest are off the agenda?
That was for on the agenda. There are a few for off the agenda.
All right. Go ahead with the questions off the agenda.
From Mark Craycraft. On October 8th, we asked about the pay increases at the sheriff's office. At that time, you said, quoting, "We are more of an advisory group, and we can tell them, look, you don't need to do this or that, but whether they agree with our suggestions still remains up to them," end quote. In a recent report, it seems you are now taking a more aggressive stance on this issue. What has changed since we brought this up to cause the commissioners to send a letter demanding answers?
The sheriff department is an elected official, and by that right alone, he runs his department. The recent increases in two particular employees are so extreme that it could be, it's being looked into to see that if it is indeed an abuse of power, if it's even something that he can do. So we'll look into it. Anytime that there's anything that stands out like that would be questionable. So we're doing our job and pursuing that. Anything to add?
Well, the pay increases that he gave to a select few was $10 on the hour, a $10 increase on the hour. And I would like to remind the people of Scioto County, that's all of our tax dollars. And, his term is coming to an end here at the end of the year. And to give an exorbitant $10 on the hour pay increase, I know I have never seen that in my lifetime, unless it's for professional baseball players or doctors or something, but to give that type of a pay increase when he's coming to the end of his term here just weeks away, it seems it seems extreme. Whether it's criminal or not, we don't know, but certainly we need to check and make sure that he has the money in his budget to do that. If he doesn't have the money in his budget to do that and we don't appropriate additional funds, you may have to lay those folks off early. So I don't understand the purpose behind it. But again, so that folks out there realize, the elected offices handle their business the way they see fit. We don't have any control over that, only to the extent of the budget. If he doesn't have money to pay them through the end of the year, then that would be, his problem. But the reality is what it is. You don't give those type of raises when you haven't checked to see if you've got that available in your line items. So for me, I don't know that there's, maybe it's on the up and up, but he would be the one to ask that.
Indicators show, too, that he will not have enough money to cover his payroll throughout the end of the year, and there probably will be requests for additional appropriations. So that is why we are, our tone has changed, and we're checking into it.
Also from Mark Craycraft, you canceled a meeting citing a positive COVID test by a member of the press. We certainly wish that person a speedy recovery. Have the commissioners all been tested for COVID? If so, when? And why did the commissioners not quarantine after knowing they were in contact with a COVID-positive individual?
We haven't been formally contacted that we have had an exposure. We heard that a news media person was positive, and so with that being said, we're doubling up on precautions, and at this time we have not been informed that we have been exposed. When that comes through, we'll certainly take the steps to do the testing and whatever needs to be done.
Well, I'm not sick myself. I know when the potential for that might have been was more than, well, it was, I think, at least 2 weeks ago or more. But the time we found out about it, it was probably more than a week.
We actually just found out about it when we were over at the studio. It was Friday, wasn't it?
I think it was Friday.
So that's when we, and those, the employees were not there, but we were told at that time, that's why they weren't there. And we have not been contacted to say, to give us warning that we have been exposed.
It is
It's just a
getting close.
precaution.
Yeah, it is getting close, and the numbers are up. What we did with the courthouse is we took a precautionary measure to make sure that, we closed the meetings down so that not anybody could just come walking in. That was the whole idea of shutting the courthouse down, because up until now, anybody that wanted to could come walking into our meetings, and you can't control something like this if you don't do something, if you're not proactive. So what we did was it was a cautionary thing. We weren't advised that anybody was particularly any office was at risk, but we felt that it was necessary to do what we did. And I think Dr. Martin actually said it was a good move to do that.
The final question here from Sue McGraw Montgomery. 2.7 million should go a long way for PPE. No one in the county should be doing without. Who is making this happen?
Please repeat that.
2.7 million should go a long way for PPE. No one in the county should be doing without. Who is making that happen?
I'm not sure I understand the
I don't
question.
know. It seems to me like that,
Is that how much with all the items where you have getting like business grants and everything, is that COVID CARES money?
the COVID CARES money is used to offset, in many cases, the effect of what the COVID-19 has done to different departments, losses of revenue because of different issues that people were, or additional money that had to be spent because of the loss of revenue. So in some cases, it's probably going to be used for stuff like that. It's, this sanitation, that people are doing around restaurants and different things like that. A lot of the restaurants that are open now have people that just go around with some kind of disinfectant and wipe and clean the tables after everyone, after people come in and eat. And so they sanitize not only the tables and the seats and everything else. We're going to be doing something like that as well. Another thing you got to remember is that some of the children aren't going to be able to go to school, maybe for quite some time. And the ones that don't have the financial ability to do that, if they don't have an iPad or if they don't have something to be able to communicate with the schools, the ones that are supposed to be doing home study, some of the money is going to be spent to help out those children. There's a number of things that the money is going to go for. Actually, the HVAC, the money for the HVAC systems is going to be a pretty elaborate filtration system that will, it'll make the courthouse. We have just about everybody in the county has to go through the courthouse at one time or another. And so when you have that many people coming in here when the courthouse is open, this is something that will help keep the courthouse cleaner. We're also going to be putting in some water fountains that are touchless. You can get a drink of water without having to put your hands on the water fountain. The bathrooms and stuff in a lot of the government buildings are going to be touchless. The handles on the urinals and on the commodes and stuff, they're going to be, you don't have to touch those. You don't have to flush after you use that facility. It's going to be automatic. So a lot of the things that we're doing is trying to make things touchless. We're using it for things that are legitimate purchases, and they're things that are accepted by the state of Ohio. But a lot of the money is to offset what losses that different departments, different businesses, like helping out some of the businesses that are only, they're operating at 50%. they need a little bit of assistance to keep from going broke. So a lot of this money was actually set aside for those purposes. So they have to be used for those type of purposes, not the, the masks and things like that. These are for other losses that people have experienced from that. But it's been a lot of months. We've been kind of shut down for a lot of months, and there's been a lot of people who have lost jobs, everything else. We're doing what we can to make it better. Robert, do you want to say anything about this?
Well, I think the biggest part of the question was PPP, all right? Each department submits what they need for that type of funding. If they need PPP, then that's part of their request for the COVID money. When the commissioners sit at their meeting with the auditor and they see what departments have spent what, and they submit that fund. So yes, all departments have the opportunity to get all the PPE that they need through these funds. They have to submit them themselves.
And from the beginning, that was one of the first things most all departments covered.
Yeah. And then in the small business grants that we're doing, that's a big part of it. These businesses are spending unforeseen monies that they would never have spent due to COVID for cleaning their facilities and cleaning their buildings, making their customers safe. And that's what it's for. See, that's a big part of what it's for.
It's important to note that with this money, we cannot stockpile. So we can't have a building full of PPE. It's not allowed. So it's for immediate use. So.
Another question from Patrick Keck. I also saw the commissioner's new website. Were there any costs attached to it?
Brian, I'm sorry, I cannot hear you when your head's down.
Patrick Keck, I'm really sorry. He also saw the new website. Were there any costs attached to it from Patrick Keck?
Yes, we've created a new website, and of course, there are costs attached to. The old one was, you said, was 16 years old. So we have hired someone to do that for us. And I'm sure if he's taken a look at it, he'll see how much it has improved.
From Andrea Lynn, where are all of these COVID numbers coming from?
That is a question you'll have to direct to the Department of Health.
Larry Mullins would be the EMA office. He releases those numbers every day. And they go up and down, but right now they've currently been much higher. These last couple, 3 months, they've been much higher. But he gives the statistics on that data. So anyone that wants to know anything about COVID-19, they need to call our EMA office. And I don't have that number. Do you have that number?
I do.
Jan, you have?
No, I don't have a cell number.
I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it is in the book. And if you want to know the numbers, I think Larry Mullins gets those from probably Michael Martin on a daily basis. So they should be up to date.
Well, are there any more questions or comments? If there are not, would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.